The Maqasidic Tafsir. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end?
Another addition to your Islamic education, Maqasidic Tafsir, Healing and Governance, the Transformative Path of Sabah as-Tiwal, written by Dr. Karim Abuzaid. Join Ustadah Laila Nasheeba every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m., streaming all major platforms, channel Sunnahfollowers. Ibrahim, planting the tree of Tawheed, a Maqasidic insight by Dr. Karim Abuzaid. Join us on Saturdays and Sundays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Your host, Ustadah Laila Nasheeba, streaming on all major platforms, channel Sunnahfollowers.
Alhamdulillah, wassalat, wassalam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our series on the Maqasidic Tafsir, and this is based on the book written by Dr. Karim Abuzaid. This is his book on the Maqasidic Tafsir of Surat Ibrahim, the chapter of the Quran of Surat Ibrahim. For those of you who have not yet purchased this book, please go to Amazon and buy the book. The book is only $14.95, and that's how the book looks in the background. For those of you who are listening and watching me, who are not on YouTube, please open up a tab on your cell phone to YouTube, and go to my channel Sunnahfollowers, and click on my live stream, so that way you can see my PowerPoint that will be behind me, and you can see what's behind me, so that way you can get an active view of what I'm teaching. And for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Ustadah Laila Nasheeba. I am an Islamic educator. I have been teaching Islam for over 50 years. Do not be fooled by my appearance. I'm older than you think, and I am more than qualified to teach Islam. Thank you. So tonight we're going to continue with this magnificent book. We've been speaking about how, as Muslims, we embark upon a life endeavor, and that life endeavor is planting the tree of Tawheed. We plant the tree of Tawheed in our hearts, and then we watch it grow. Hopefully, it produces fruit for us that will be in our benefit, so that on the day of judgment, we'll have a great ending with Allah. We don't want to grow a tree of shirk that will in turn give us a bad ending when we stand before our Lord on the day of judgment. And we mustn't forget the grave. Oh, yes. Before the day of judgment, remember, as our prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the grave is the stepping stone into the hereafter. We have to endure the punishment of the grave. Either you will be punished in that grave until the day of judgment, or you will be a green bird flying around the throne of Allah until the day of judgment, all depending on which tree you planted within your heart, whether it was the tree of Tawheed or the tree of Shirk. And only you can determine the tree. So tonight we're going to continue with the parable of the two trees. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And again, for those of you who are watching me and you're not on YouTube, please open up a tab so that you can see me on YouTube. The channel is Sunnahfollowers, all one name. We're covering verses 24 through 41 of Surat Ibrahim of the Quran. And we're going to talk about the third step of planting the tree of Tawheed, because when we met last weekend, we covered steps 1 and 2 of the tree, of how to plant this tree. The third step entails the Shahadah. But before we get into the third step, I'm going to give you a brief quiz just to catch us up to date over what we discussed. First question: the two trees of the heart that you and I plant are Tawheed or Shirk, or are they peace, the tree of peace and happiness, or are they the tree of loneliness and happiness? What are the names of the two trees of the heart that you or I plant? Are they the tree of Tawheed or the tree of Shirk, or are they the tree of peace or happiness, or the tree of loneliness or happiness? What's the answer? Anyone?
It's either you plant the tree of Tawheed or the tree of Shirk.
Okay, and Brother Merard gave the same answer. Does everyone agree? Either you're planting the tree of Tawheed or Shirk. Does everybody agree? Good. Yes. Good yes. Job. Good job. Those are the two trees that you determine what you're planting. And I already gave you the answer, so you would have been crazy to get it wrong. Good job. Okay, let's look at the second question. Move this out the way so it doesn't get in my way. Second question. Before planting the seed of the tree, one must cleanse the soil of the heart. The soil of the heart, we discussed last week, represents your emotions and desires, or your sicknesses and illnesses. Which answer is correct? Before planting the seed within your heart, you must first cleanse the soil of your heart. The soil of your heart represents your heart's emotions and desires, or does it represent the sicknesses and illnesses of your body? Which answer is correct? Fatima.
Emotions and desire.
Okay, and Fatima said emotions and desires too. Does everyone agree?
I agree.
Yes, good job. The soil of the heart refers to our emotions and desires of the heart. The jealousy, the depression, the loneliness, the anger, the discontent, the greed, whatever emotions, the desires of the heart. We have to cleanse our heart of the evil desires, the evil emotions that are within it before we plant the seed. Good job. Let's look at the next question. To plant the seed of Tawheed, this begins by recognizing, this is the first step. The first step to planting the seed of Tawheed, we discussed, begins by recognizing that there must be a creator, or there must be a heaven and hell, or there must be something better than all of this. Which answer is correct? The first step to planting the seed of Tawheed begins by recognizing that there must be a creator, or there must be a heaven and a hell, or there must be something better than all of this. Which answer is correct?
Creator.
Okay, good job, and good job on Facebook. Zoom, YouTube too. Everybody on Zoom, YouTube typed creator too. Exactly, that's the correct answer. The first step to planting the seed of Tawheed entails recognizing that there is a creator of everything. And that creator is Allah. Good job. And then we spoke last weekend about, after recognizing that there is a creator, the next thing we have to realize is that the creator is not like the creation. Is this statement true or false? What do you guys think?
True.
MashaAllah, this is true. So that's the first step, and that's what we covered. This summarizes everything that we discussed yesterday in regards to the first step to planting the tree of Tawheed in our heart. We have to cleanse the soil of our hearts by ridding our heart of all those evil emotions and those evil desires that stand between us and Allah, such as jealousy, selfishness, ingratitude, discontent with the qadr of Allah, and all of that. And then to plant the seed of Tawheed, we have to recognize that there is a creator, and that creator is Allah. He's one. He has no partner. And then we have to recognize that he is nothing like the creation. We cannot liken Allah to man. We're nothing like him. He's nothing like anything that he created. And so today we're going to cover the third step. The third step in planting the tree of Tawheed entails the Shahadah. And what is the Shahadah? That is our testimony of faith. And that's what we're going to speak about tonight, guys. So, the Shahadah, this is a seed that has two roots. And the two roots of that seed consist of La ilaha, which means there is nothing worthy of worship. That's the first root of the seed. That's the seed of Tawheed. The Shahadah, that's the seed. It's the seed that has two roots. The first root is La ilaha, which means there is nothing worthy of worship. This uproots all false beliefs. It empties rituals and inherited distortions. The second root is Illallah, accept Allah. So the first root is there is nothing worthy of worship. The second root is accept Allah. And that second root affirms the truth of the one who creates, who sustains, and who is alone deserving of our devotion. And this is not a cultural chant. This is a deliberate, transformative declaration. It is uttered by the tongue. It's affirmed with conviction, and it's planted deep within a heart that has been prepared to carry its truth. It's been prepared because its soil has been cleansed and purified of those filthy things that could stand between or stand in the way of the truth. And once the seed of La ilaha illallah is placed through deliberation, through reflection and contemplation of Allah's creational signs, then the next step becomes essential. And that step is to know the Creator more deeply. And the only way you can know the Creator more deeply is through His revelation, through His book, through the Quran. So the soil has been cleansed. The seed of La ilaha illallah is now planted. It's in your heart. For the new convert, you are Muslim now. You've made that step. You've taken that step. You've planted that seed. For the person that was born Muslim but didn't practice, you are now practicing. Your fitra has been lit. Your fitra is now nourished. So now you got to know your Creator. You got to establish that relationship with Him. And how is it done? Through His book, through His names, through learning His names. Because by learning Allah's names, you are learning about Him. Through His Quran. The Quran is not the creation of Allah. It's Allah's words, His kalam, His words. The Quran consists of His words, His commands. His words, His commands will nourish your faith. It will cause your faith to grow. It will cause the fitra within your heart that was almost diminished to now become vibrant and expand and grow. And from this knowledge you attain of Allah, from this knowledge that will emerge, the remaining pillars of faith, those 5 unseen truths, will emerge as well. What are those truths? You will now believe in Allah's angels. You will now believe in all of Allah's divine books. You will now believe in all of Allah's messengers. You will now believe in everything that Allah has told us about the hereafter, paradise, hell, the grave, and everything that happens. And you will now understand that nothing happens in this world unless Allah wills it. Not a leaf falling, not a war, not a life, not a death, unless Allah wills it. All of this, even though it's unseen, even though it's unknown, because revelation has made it clear. And you will become to understand that these beliefs are not optional. These beliefs are obligatory because they complete the framework of faith. They complete the framework of belief. They make you sound as a believer. They shape your world views. They make your view of life, your view of the entire universe clear, not based on doubt, not based on speculation, but based on trust in the all-knowing, who is Allah, subhanallah. And now, having completed the second step in planting your tree, you can now move on to the third step, which is strengthening the roots of your tree. The seed is anchored in the seed is anchored in the soil. So now the seed has taken root in the soil. So now the roots of the seed must be anchored. And that's when the heart awakens. The roots are hidden, but they hold the entire tree. The testimony of La ilaha illallah, born from reflection upon the signs of creation and deepened through the light of revelation, now lies in the soil of a heart that has been properly prepared. But the journey of faith has only just begun. The heart must now awaken. And this becomes the turning point when faith stops being a conception and now becomes a direction. This is when the believer is no longer standing still, but he or she begins to walk. He or she begins to walk towards the hereafter. And he or she walks with a purpose, not faltering, not doubting, not questioning, not asking why. He or she walks with dignity, with humility and balance, because he or she has a purpose. They know why they were created. They know what their goal is. They know why they were put here on this planet. So the heart, which was once still and observing, it now stirs with life. It hears the call of the messengers sent by Allah, carried by the angels, and it responds with more belief. It responds with love. It responds with longing. It responds with true resolve now. Subhanallah. And this is where the roots grow deep in the heart. Subhanallah. The heart of the person begins to fall in love, not with man, not with this dunya, but instead the heart begins to fall in love with Allah, and not just as an abstract idea, but as the one who created, guided, and forgave him or her. That heart develops a sincere intention to seek Allah's closeness, not through ritual, but through embracing his guidance with yearning and devotion. It clings to hope in his mercy. It trembles with fear of his displeasure and leans fully on his trust in his wisdom. It begins to love the way of submission to him. It cherishes his words of the Quran, and it longs to feel his warmth and allegiance towards him and his community of believers, not man's. Is that your heart? Do you possess a heart like that? Subhanallah. And what began as fact now becomes a feeling. What began in the intellect now anchors itself in the heart. Faith is now alive. Though these roots are unseen, they are what hold the entire tree upright when the winds of doubt blow upon it, when hardships shake its soul, and when the world darkens around it. These are not fleeting emotions. They are the actions of the heart, known entirely only to Allah. And they are what give faith its true strength, its true resilience and stability. Because without these roots, a tree cannot stand. But with them, it thrives and it's unshakable. Subhanallah. Do you possess those type of roots? And this is the stage when the heart begins to nourish its roots with the essential nutrients of its faith. The eyes can't see it, but it's vital for the tree to hold firm and to grow strong. And this is where the believer begins to develop that sincerity. We call it ikhlas in Arabic. This is when that believer begins to do everything for the sake of Allah alone, without showing off for people, without seeking the praise of people. They do everything simply for the sake of Allah, all because they have this deep love for Allah, this deep love for his book, for his way. They have allegiance to him, allegiance to his prophet, allegiance to his book. Subhanallah, el-wala. And they distance themselves, el-bara. They distance themselves from any and everything that will come between them and Allah and his book and his prophet and his religion. And the believers, subhanallah, they also have a strong commitment to honesty. Remember, the believer is capable of committing any sin except dishonesty. Subhanallah. And also, the believer has a longing for Allah's mercy. They never give up, no matter how hard life becomes, no matter how broken they become. They never lose hope, as our prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never be a true believer unless you have love, hope, and fear of Allah. If a person loses any of those three things, he's not a believer. The believer maintains all three of those elements in equal proportion. And when it comes to fear, the believer has reverent fear of Allah. Not fear of harm, but awe. It's a fear rooted in love and the desire to never displease Allah. And the believer has regret, which is a soft sadness over their past sins, because that brings their heart closer to repentance and resolve. Subhanallah. So from this quiet and sincere cultivation of the heart, now emerges yaqeen, which is a certainty of faith. This is a certainty that is no longer theoretical, but instead it's experienced and it's felt. And the believer now transitions through the three levels of certainty. The certainty of knowledge, where he or she can say, I know that Allah is the truth, and can't nobody tell me otherwise. And then the certainty of seeing, where he or she says, I witness Allah's signs unfold in my life, and you can't make me believe otherwise. And then the certainty of experience, where he or she says, I live by Allah's truth. No doubt can shake what I've tasted and what I've walked with. Nothing you can do can make me doubt what I know to be true. This is the quiet strength of the true believer. It's a rootedness that others may not see, but it carries the entire weight of the tree of faith. Which of these inner qualities, sincerity, love, fear, hope, or truthfulness, do you need to nourish the most right now? How can your obedience change if your heart were fully awakened? The true believers pray. The true believers say, oh Allah, let my faith not remain surface deep. Let it settle, grow, and come alive in my heart. Fill it with sincerity, love for you, hope in your mercy, fear of disappointing you, and a certainty so strong that nothing and no one in this world can uproot it. Do you, do I, do we have the faith of the tree of Tawheed? This is the faith of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is the faith that Prophet Moses had. This is the faith that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam had. Is this the faith that you have? That's the question that each and every one of us need to ask ourselves tonight. Are we rooted in our iman like this? If Allah throws you a curveball right now, if something bad were to happen right now, would you handle it with dignity, humility, and balance? and fall back on your faith and be resilient like a tree? Or would you bend and break like a person, a shirk? Would you blame it on Allah? Would you blame it on being a Muslim? Would you hate your choice of Islam? Only you can answer that question. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I believe that this is one of Dr. Karim Abuzaid's best books put together, because it causes you to ponder, causes you to think about your iman, your faith. Are you a believer or are you a hypocrite? How strong is your faith? All right. Any questions or comments? Okay, tomorrow we're going to continue with the next step of planting the tree of Tawheed, which is step 4. We cover steps 1, 2, and 3. Today we did 2 and 3. Tomorrow we'll cover step 4 to planting the tree of Tawheed. Also tomorrow, just to let you guys know, we have the class for the new Shahadahs at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then we have the Caliphate of Umar radiallahu anha, taught by my cousin Mukhtar at 7. And then this class will be at 9:30 again tomorrow. All right, so I want everybody to make sure that you guys are here for the classes. And please, guys, we need your donations. If you guys enjoy coming here to learn Islam and its truthfulness with the understanding of the original companions, please support this dawah effort. We are a non-profit organization. It costs $2,000 a month to run this website, and we are an online Islamic school. All of our classes are free of charge, but you guys know it costs money to run these programs, to make the videos, to put out the content that we do and everything. We have to stay up to date, to put out everything. Please, guys, it's almost the end of the month. We need donations to cover the last of this month's expenses, plus around the first of the month, we start all over again. Please, 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 we need $500 more for that. Well, we got a couple of donations yesterday. We need $300 more. We got a couple of more donations yesterday. We need $300 more to cover the last of this month's expenses. And for the people that donated yesterday, may Allah bless you. A couple of brothers donated yesterday. May Allah bless you, brothers. You know who you are for donating. Why is it that you brothers don't like to know that y'all support Laila Nasheeba? What's up with that? We got some brothers that don't like people know that they support Sunnahfollowers and Laila Nasheeba. I don't know why they like to keep that on the down low. But for you brothers that sent in some money, may Allah bless you. What, do y'all get made fun of or something? What's up with that? But for the brothers that sent their donations in yesterday, may Allah bless you. So we need $300 more, okay, to support to end out this month's donations. Allah bless you. Okay. All right. Okay. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Have a good night.